Hello everyone. In this session today we'll discuss what are the different classifications in the industries according to Telangana State Industrial Policy. And also we'll learn some important schemes which are related to the women and also the schemes allotted for SC/ST entrepreneurs. So in the last session we have seen the Telangana State Industrial Policy and also thrust areas in the Telangana state. And next, coming for today's topic, what are the classifications in the industries? So, classification of the projects as per Telangana State Industrial Policy, we are going to have 5 types: mega projects, large projects, medium projects, micro enterprises, and small industries. So, how these classification has been made means it is based upon the number of units they have been produced, and also not only number of units they are going to produce, but also based upon the investment they are going to make in the production activity. Not only regarding investment, regarding the size of the business, that means the way the quantity they are going to produce. Okay, so first one is mega projects. Those industries which are going to have the investment of above 200 crores in plant as well as in machinery or providing employment to more than 1,000 persons. Such projects are known as mega projects. So these are going to invest 200 crores in plant as well as machinery. So this is very large investment, and also these projects are going to provide employment at least minimum 1,000%. So such an entity is known as mega project. And coming to the next one, large projects. These projects are going to make the investment between 10 to 200 crores. 10, 10 to 200 crore rupees in plant as well as machine. Plant means nothing but industry. And next, here, less than this, these large projects are going to have some people less than this in mega projects. Suppose here are going to have 1,000 persons, and here they are going to recruit 500 persons. Somewhat here the production quantity is less than the mega projects. Similarly, mega projects. These mega projects are going to start with an investment of rupees 5 to 10 crores in plant and machinery. So these here the investment is less. So the production as well as the quantity which are going to have from this project are also less than the mega as well as large products. And next, coming to the micro enterprises. And in micro enterprises, the investment is less than 25 lakhs in the plant as well as machinery. These are very small, which are going to found in our surrounding areas. And next, coming to the small industries. You can also name it as cottage industries, which you are going to observe in our nearby areas, small villages like that. According to the material which we are going to find in that particular area, they are going to form this type of industry, that is small industry. This type of industries have an investment of 25 lakh to 5 crore rupees in plant as well as machinery. Okay, so less than this, among all these things, micro enterprises minimum than the small industries. Okay, so these small industries can be established anywhere in each and every area. Why? Because here the investment is less. Micro enterprises as well as small industries. In these two cases, it's easy to implement the business activities, and also it is easy to monitor the people. We can have the clear provision regarding persons who are going to work in the enterprise. So it is somewhat flexible. Even though it is if you want to change to other, able to move to other project. Why? Because the investment is somewhat less than other projects. And then coming to our next topic, special assistance to women entrepreneurs. So here, like SC/ST entrepreneurs, the number of existing women on the industrial enterprises is meager. In Telangana state, government encourages women entrepreneurs in a big way. Each of the 9 districts of the state, excluding Hyderabad, will have one or more industrial parks exclusively for women. Next, organizations working for women entrepreneurs like CWE, LEAP, and FICCI, FLO are invited to partner with the government to identify and train women entrepreneurs to get their project proposals developed, link them to financial institutions, and handhold and monitor the progress of the projects. Among women, the government would facilitate a higher number of entrepreneurs who emerge from socially deprived categories like SCs, STs, BCs, and minorities. So, gone are the days when women would end up their entire life within the four walls of the house. So, the days has been changed. So, why this has been emerged? Why women have been becoming entrepreneurs? Nowadays, they are not stick to four walls of the house. Like the male counterparts, women nowadays are writing fresh stories of unprecedented success with their wit and hard work. More and more women are expanding their entrepreneurial horizons and venturing to an unprecedented range of business areas. The greater choices now available to women in the fields of employment has been the major driving force to their upheaval as bureaucrats, professionals, and executives. They have now begun to enter the fiercely competitive world of business and economic independence. The fact that such a large percentage of them had entered the non-traditional areas attests to female entrepreneurship being a fairly recent phenomenon boosted by programs and schemes of Indian government aimed at reinstating women empowerment in the long run. The traditional female skills are being turned into a livelihood by starting a home-based business encompassing textiles, catering, embroideries, boutiques, crafts, and many more. Look at the world around you. That women are empowered is evidenced by their prevailing presence in the courts, public offices, corporate houses, and parliament, and what not named entrepreneurs and writers, scientists, and social activists, actors and actors. They are everywhere. So here, Ministry of Micro MSME, Micro Small Scale Medium Enterprise MSME, which recently held its first conclave on empowering women entrepreneurs of marginalized sections. Received colossal applications have emerged as the premier institution responding to the phenomenon of female entrepreneurship. aimed at awakening the country to issues of hidden disparities and discuss a range subjects to highlight the evolving role of women entrepreneurship in India. The conclave witnessed multiple sessions wherein influencers from various walks of life came together to discuss and deliberate on key issues. The conclave turned out to be a huge hit amongst SC women entrepreneurs. With the gradual shift of mindset among the stakeholders in MSME, Ministry awarded path-breaking women entrepreneurs and outstanding women achievers in varied fields on the occasion of International Women's Day 2019. The move intends to celebrate women who are breaking the regressive restraints that society and circumference have placed on them and are choosing to be financially independent while continuing in their traditional roles as primary caregivers. This MSMU ME transformed the women from homemaker to entrepreneur. So women entrepreneurs, sorry, women are the pillars of society, and when women are empowered, the whole world is empowered. Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises is empowering women entrepreneurs through its different schemes, helping women spark their talent and build their own identity. 1.38 lakh projects have been set up by the women entrepreneurs under Prime Minister's Employment Generation Program, that is PMEGP scheme, since inception and up to 2019 January 23rd. The projects set up by women entrepreneurs are about 30% of total projects set up by PMEGP scheme. Under the scheme, women entrepreneurs are covered under special category and are entitled to 25% to 35% subsidies for the project set up in urban and rural areas respectively. For women beneficiaries, own contribution is only 5% of the project cost, while for general category it is 10%. During 2016 to 17 and 2017 to 18, under the Khadi program of KVIC, women entrepreneurs have set up 30,437 projects for which margin money of 85,305 lakh rupees have been disbursed. Not only MSME, the Government of India has taken various steps towards women empowerment and safety. Initiatives like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, Stand Up India, Mission Indradhanush, Mudra Yojana Scheme, Trade, Trade TREAD, Trade Related Entrepreneurship Assistance and Development Scheme, Mahila Udyam Nidhi Scheme, Annapurna Scheme, Tree Shakti Package for Women Entrepreneurs, Bharatiya Mahila Business Bank Loan, Deena Shakti Scheme, Udyogini Scheme, Sant Kalyani Scheme, and many more have added to the welfare of women population in India. So let me tell what are the barriers for this. Many of the barriers to the women's empowerment and equity lie ingrained in cultural norms. It is ironical that a country which has recently acclaimed the status of the first Asian country to accomplish its Mars mission in the Maidan attempt is positioned at the 108th rank among 146 countries in the World Economic Forum Gender Gap Index, same as 2017. India has the second largest artificial intelligence workforce but one of the largest artificial intelligence gender gaps, with only 22% of roles filled by women. It is equally disheartening. For Indian women, empowerment can be an uphill task. They need to strike a astute balance with customs and traditions. While the Indian government is insistently working for the upliftment of women, we too need to become aware of their rights, schemes, and benefits that can help achieve overall empowerment. The illiterate and semi-literate women entrepreneurs from both rural and urban areas have availed benefits of certain schemes under Indian government to help start or run a company. The story of two women entrepreneurs, Priyashree Mani and Nishita Vasant, running their own enterprise in Pali Hills in Kodaikanal district of Tamil Nadu by availing loans under scheme of Indian government is an apt example of the study. Okay. But sure, mindset shift among uh, here they have these two people, Priyashree Mani, Nishita Vasant. These two women entrepreneurs have make use of the loans and schemes which were offered by the government, Indian government, and they are an apt example of the study, but sure mindset shift among the stakeholders in the MSME and startup ecosystem, with logistics as a major challenge, and the honey harvesting tribe based out of Pali Hills. The duo scale up their operations by hiring more whom they hired more women in the same business and ended setting up Hoop honey harvesting startup. Bringing honey to your doorstep, the story gives an insight to the budding women entrepreneurship in the country, with women donning several roles ranging from rainmakers to change makers and social catalysts. So more power, less fear. So here regarding women empowerment, Swami Vivekananda, one of the greatest sons of India, quoted that there is no chance for the welfare of the world unless the condition of women is improved. It is not possible for a bird to fly on only one wing. Therefore, the inclusion of the women empowerment as one of the prime goals in the 8th Millennium Development Goals underscores the relevance of this fact. So it was very inspiring that the welfare of the world, unless the woman is not improved, the world cannot be developed. So in order to, if you make a woman improved in all the ways, then automatically with her, the entire family is going to develop. And if you make all the women educated and empowered, then the total country ultimately, so the total world ultimately be in the good position. So therefore, the inclusion of women empowerment as one of the prime goals in the 8th Millennium Development Goals underscores the relevance of this fact. Countries around the world have taken the theme to their heart and kick-started a conversation about sexual assault in the beginning of the year. And this led to Me Too movement. Surprisingly, this movement turned out to be a table talk throughout the year and sent accusers behind the bars for good reasons, treading the path in order to achieve the status of the developed country. India too needs to transform its colossal women force into an effective human resource, and this is possible only through the empowerment of women. So, On par here, women have many schemes which were offered by the government of India. So they can make use of good examples. So Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. Here initiatives like not only MSME, initiatives like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, Stand Up India, Mission Indradhanush, Mudra Yojana scheme, TREAD, trade means TREAD. It stands for Trade Related Entrepreneurship Assistance and Development Scheme. Mahila Udyam Nidhi Scheme, Annapurna Scheme, Sri Shakti Package for Women Entrepreneurs, Bharatiya Mahila Business Bank Loan, Veena Shakti, etc. All these are going to have good schemes for women entrepreneurs. Then coming next topic, special support for SC/ST entrepreneurs. These unfortunate reality that SC/ST entrepreneurs own a minuscule proportion of existing industrial units in Telangana. There are a number of structural barriers which SC/ST entrepreneurs find extremely difficult to overcome. Since the foundation of the new state of Telangana is based on the premise of social justice, new Telangana state industrial policy has taken up a number of additional support measures meant to increase entrepreneurship among the SCs as well as STs. This program is implemented under the banner of TS Pride, Telangana State Pride. Telangana State Pride stands for Telangana State Program for Rapid Incubation of Dalit Entrepreneurs. And some of these initiatives under T Pride are as follows. A special direct funding program for financing SC/ST entrepreneurs will be worked out to utilize the money available under the respective subplans. Payment of margin money on behalf of the SC/ST entrepreneurs by government of state. And then continued. Preferential allotment of plots in industrial parks. Supplier diversity opportunities in large industries. State departmental procurement policy in tune with the GOI SME procurement policy. So this is up to 20%. They are going to allocate 20% of the procurement policies. Intensive entrepreneur and skill development programs. Subsidy eligibility if funded by CRISIL rated in MDFs. No negative list. Interest subsidy for service sector except transport sector. State supported CGTME type scheme for SC/ST entrepreneurs. Organizations like the Dalit India Chamber of Commerce and Industry, nothing but DICCI stands for Dalit India Chamber of Commerce and Industry, will be involved in planning, implementing, and monitoring the special programs for SC and ST entrepreneurs. Representation in all in district and state level committees. So these are some special support schemes for SC/ST entrepreneurs. So once you go through this slide, Then move on to next. Special assistance to women entrepreneurs. Then moving on to the next. So here the government, in addition to this, next special support to SC/ST entrepreneurs. The government will also provide 10% and extra subsidy to SC/ST entrepreneurs apart from the existing 15% subsidy to all MSMEs on credit of up to 1 crore rupees for purchasing plant on machinery. So they are going to have some subsidy regarding this project investment. The government, which recently launched the updated credit linked capital subsidy scheme, CELCSS, for micro, small, and medium enterprises to boost their access to credit. Will also provide 10% extra subsidy to SC/ST entrepreneurs apart from the existing 15% subsidy to all MSMEs on credit of up to 1 crore rupees on purchasing of plant and machinery with an aim to facilitate technology upgradation among them. In our national SC/ST hub, there is a subsidy of 15% up to a loan of 1 crore rupees for technology upgradation in CLCSS, but we are also offering 10% extra subsidy that will be given to SC/ST entrepreneurs. MSME Secretary Dr. Arun Kumar Panda said during the relaunch of the scheme. Under the Stand Up India scheme, government has special credit linked capital subsidy scheme for micro and small enterprises under the National SC/ST Hub that offers 25% subsidy to SC/ST units for buying plant and machinery. Out of the 25%, 15% is given to DCMSME and 10% by the SC/ST Hub. However, there has hardly been any disbursement to SC/ST entrepreneurs because of lack of credit demand from such SMEs that have been using rudimentary technologies to do business based on non-industrialized areas. A government official. So here, the National SC/ST Hub was launched by Prime Minister Modi in October 2016 to offer professional support to SC/ST entrepreneurs and comply with the central government public procurement policy for micro and small enterprises. The annual goods procurement by central public sector enterprises from MSME stood at rupees 24,226.51 crores in financial year 2018. That included procurement share by SC/ST MSMEs worth rupees 442.5 52 crores according to the MSME ministry data, which has been released in the January month. So not only the state, the government is also offering many schemes for the welfare of SC/ST entrepreneurs, so they can make use of good choice and can develop the good business sectors throughout the country. Next, coming to the different organizations which stood at central level, state level, and others are. Let me discuss what are. Let me share some names of organizations which stood at central level, state level, and others. So at central level, we are going to have the SSI board, KVIC, CEDO, NSIC, NSTEB, NPC, NIC. So in this we have learned CEDO, NSIC. Okay. Similarly, at state level, we are going to have the DIs, DACs, district industry centers, SFCs, SIDs. So like already seen this and others, industry association, non-governmental organizations, and R&D laboratories. These are some of the organizations which stood at central level as well as state level. Next, if you observe the functions of this SSIDC, Small State Industrial Development Corporation, the first thing is procurement and distribution of scarce raw material. So whatever the raw materials are going to be observe in scarcity. Means if these raw materials, whatever the raw materials are going to have in less number, that raw materials are going to produce and distributed by this organization. And supply of machinery to SSI units on the high purchase basis. Product marketing assistance, construction of industrial estates, allied infrastructure facilities, and maintenance, providing management assistance to production units. Then, next one, the district DACs. Okay. Objectives and functions of this SSIDC. Term loans for acquisition of land, building, plant and machinery. Promotion of self-employment. Encourage new and technically qualified women. Rehabilitation of sick units. Promotion of industry by rural and urban artisans. Then DICs. District Industry Centers. This give full assistance to the entrepreneurs who are going to start the business on their own and in their regional places. DICs provide various schemes for promoting the growth of rural as well as cottage industries and also different micro, small and macro industrial enterprises. Then next coming to the next one, DIC, District Industry Center. We discuss the objectives, accelerate. First one is they'll accelerate the overall efforts of industrialization of the district, rural industrialization and development of rural industries and handicrafts, attainment of economic equality in various regions of district, providing the benefit of the government schemes to the new entrepreneurs, centralization of procedures required to start a new industrial unit, and minimization of the efforts and time required to obtain various permissions, licenses, registrations, subsidies, etc. Then coming to the functions. Acts as the focal point in the industrialization of the district. This DIC acts as the focal point in the industrialization of the district. Means that it remains focused on the development of the industries within the district. Prepares the industrial profile of the district with respect to statistics and information about the existing industrial units in the district in the large, medium, small as well as cooperative sectors. Opportunity guidance to entrepreneurs. Opportunity guidance to entrepreneurs, compilation of information about local source of raw materials and their availability, manpower assessment with respect to skilled, semi-skilled workers, assessment of availability infrastructure facilities like quality testing, research and development, transport, prototype, development, warehouse, organizes entrepreneurship development training programs, and also it provides information about various government schemes, subsidies, grants, and assistance available from other corporations set up for promotion of industries. And also it gives SSI registration, prepares the techno-economic feasibility report, advises the entrepreneurs on investments, and it acts as the link between the entrepreneurs and the lead bank of the district. So play an important role in the industrial development within the district. Then coming to the next topic, Andhra Pradesh Industrial Technical Consultancy Organization Limit has been incorporated in 1976. It is one of the technical consultancy organizations providing technical management and development consultancy to government, industry as well as society. The main function is it offers technical as well as managerial development and consultancy skills to government, industry as well as society. The organization is promoted by all India financial institutions, state corporations and public sector banks. Let me discuss some of the functions of APITC. It accelerates infrastructure development by planning for industrial parks. Guides food and agricultural business, strengthening the business of tourism, leisure, planning for urban renewal and smart cities, uprising transportation projects, facilitating housing and real estate projects, catering to healthcare and education. Some of the financial institutions which support small-scale industry in India. So once we go through this, next, once we go through this slide, next, some of the financial institutions which offer support for small-scale industry in India are State Finance Corporation, SFC, commercial banks, Small Industry Development Bank of India, Industrial Finance Corporation of India. And next one is Industrial Credit, ICICI Bank. It stands for Industrial Credit and Investment Corporation of India, Industrial Development Bank of India, IDBI, Small Industries Development Fund, National Small Industries Corporation, National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, NABARD, Central Government Source Purchase Program, SIDO, Small Industries Development Organization, and Marketing Assistance to Small-Scale Industries. So next, once we go through this, APITC has been incorporated in the year 1976. Next, functions. Then these are some of the financial institutions which offer support for small scale industries in India. SFCs, SIDBI, Commercial Bank, IFCI, ICICI Bank, IDBI, SIDF, NABARD, SIDO, Central Government Stores Purchase. So in this session, we have learned some special classification of the projects as per the Telangana State Industrial Policy. What are that? Mega projects, large projects, medium projects, micro enterprises, small industries. And then special assistance to women entrepreneurs and some special schemes for SC/ST entrepreneurs. Central level, state level, and other institutions. And then SSIDC functions, objectives, district industry centers, their functions and objectives. APITCO functions, and then some financial institutions which have been treated as the supporting institutions for small scale industries. So with this, I'm going to stop my lecture. The coming section will start new topic, that is project management. With this, I'm going to end my session. Thank you, one and all.